Directions. Austin and Kyle take a trip to Australia and encounter many new things. Read about their adventure, then do numbers 1 through 11. Adapting in Australia. Austin and Kyle had just arrived in Darwin, Australia. Austin and Kyle had just arrived in Darwin on Australia's northern coast. They were excited about visiting Kakadu National Park, but the flight from the United States had taken 20 hours and they were tired. Austin's stomach emitted a loud growl. He suggested finding something to eat. Near the harbor, Austin noticed a small shop that had a sign for pies. "What kind of pies do you have?" asked Austin. The clerk said, "Let's see. We have potato and sausage or steak and onion." Austin blinked. Kyle gulped. "Do you have blueberry?" asked Austin slowly with hesitation. The man laughed. "Sorry, mate. All we sell here are meat pies." Kyle ordered one of each as Austin looked at him questioningly. Kyle told him they might as well try them. As they devoured their food, which was tasty, they walked beside the harbor. They saw a sign with a diagram of a swimmer with a line through it, indicating that swimming was not allowed in the bay. They remembered that this area was home to the box jellyfish or stinger. While many of the creatures are only the size of a grapefruit, their sting has been known to cause death. Suddenly, they heard an eerie wail. Then there were barking and chirping sounds, followed by a long buzzing drone. Austin and Kyle hurried towards the noise. They came to a shop with its door open. A man was standing inside, blowing into a long, stylish wooden tube. This was the source of the strange and wonderful sounds. The man said the musical instrument was a didgeridoo. He explained that the instruments are usually made from tree parts and have been hollowed out by termites. The shopkeeper played another song for them until Austin yawned and Kyle struggled to keep his eyes open. They said goodnight to their new friend and walked back to their hotel room for some much-needed sleep. The next morning, they rode to Kakadu National Park, Australia's largest national park. A park ranger welcomed them. He said, "We have quite a few of what we call tropical nasties here at Kakadu. You don't want to miss the salty, also known as the saltwater crocodile, on your tour of the park. These reptiles can grow up to 24 feet in length, and they have been known to include humans in their diet. They're found in both salt and freshwater, so we don't recommend swimming here. There are other places where you can swim, though." Kyle leaned over and whispered to Austin, "That's okay. My head is already swimming with all the new things I've seen and done in Australia." Why were Austin and Kyle tired when they arrived in Australia? A. They were hot and hungry. B. They had been too excited to sleep. C. Their luggage was very heavy. D. Their flight had taken almost a whole day. How did the boys feel when they found out the shop sold meat pies? F. Excited. G. Angry. H. Surprised. J. Sad. Question 3. Which of the following happened first? A. A man played a didgeridoo. B. The boys caught up on some sleep. C. A park ranger welcomed them. D. The boys visited the harbor. Remember to pause as you're making your answers. Which of the following sentences answers why the author included dialogue or talking in this selection? Dialogue makes the characters seem more natural. Dialogue makes it easier to understand the plot. Dialogue provides better description of the action. Dialogue provides more clues about the character's feelings. Number 5, remember to pause in between your questions, please. Based on the selection, which generalization about Australia is valid? People in Australia are not very friendly. All interesting animals are found on land. Most activities in Australia take place indoors. There is much water in and around Australia. Why did the boys walk towards the strange sounds they heard? They wanted to know what was making the sounds. They thought someone might be in trouble. They were in the mood to hear music. They were both musicians and hoped to join in. Based on the selection, which generalization about Australia and the United States is valid? They are the same size. People listen to similar music. English is the main language. People eat the same kinds of food. A reader might make this generalization: everything in Australia is dangerous. Which detail from the selection shows that this generalization is false? Crocodiles have been known to kill people. There are some safe places to swim. Being stung by a box jellyfish can kill a person. Suddenly they heard an eerie wail. Number 9. After the rangers said it was not safe to swim at Kakadu, Kyle said, "My mind is already swimming with all the new things I've seen and done in Australia. What does this suggest?" He was ready to go home. He was not afraid of crocodiles. His plan was to swim after the ranger left. His thoughts were full of different experiences. What can a reader conclude about Kyle and Austin? They were cousins. They liked learning about new things. They felt homesick. They were very disappointed in Australia. What was the author's main purpose for writing this selection? To convince readers to learn more about Australia, to entertain with an amusing story about travel, to explain how animals behave in Australia, to give information about how to act in other countries.